questions 11 through 20 on the 2006 Grade 8 Gauss Math Contest. The sound of thunder travels away from a lightning flash at 331 meters per second. Joe sees a lightning flash and then hears the thunder 12 seconds later. To the nearest tenth of a kilometer, how far away is Joe from the lightning flash? Well, he hears it 12 seconds later, and it's traveling at 331 meters per second, right? So if we want to figure out the distance, we have to just multiply the speed by the time, and that will give us distance. Remember, speed is equal to distance over time, and therefore distance is equal to speed times time. And that's exactly what I'm doing here, speed times time. So 331 times 12 is 3972 meters. Now they want it in kilometers, and that's approximately 4 kilometers. So number 11, the answer is C. In the diagram, what is the area of the shaded region? Well, in a triangle, if you have the base and the height, you will be able to figure out the area, and that red line will represent my height. So the area will be 1/2 base times height, and the base is this guy right here, it's 10. And then the height is the red line, but the red line is equal to 3 centimeters. So there you have it. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So the area is 15, and therefore number 12, the answer is C. Last year, Kirill's age was a multiple of 7. This year, Kirill's age is a multiple of 5. In how many years will Kirill be 26 years old? Okay. So if his age is x, that means last year, so x minus 1, it was divisible by 7. And this year, it's divisible by 5. So we have to find a number that's divisible by 5. And then if you take that same number and subtract 1, it's divisible by 7. So you just kind of look at this, and just by inspection, you figure out a number, and that number is 15. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 15 subtract 1 is 14, and 14 is indeed divisible by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So we got our age. That's his age, or I don't know if Kirill is male or female, but Kirill's age is 15. In how many years will Kirill be 26? Well, 11 years from now, right? So number 13, the answer is A. In a sequence of numbers, the first term is 500. Each new term is determined by dividing the previous term by 2 and then adding 10. So for example, the second term is 260. What is the fourth term? Okay, pretty straightforward. So we take 260, divide by 2, and add 10. 260 divided by 2 is 130. 130 plus 10 is 140. And then to get the next term, same thing. Divide by 2, add 10. 140 divided by 2 is 70. 70 plus 10 is 80. So the fourth term is 80. And therefore number 14, the answer is E. The letter F is reflected in line 1. The image is then reflected in line 2. The shape that results is. All right. So first it's reflected in line 1, right? So when it's reflected here in this horizontal line, it will look like this. Exactly like if line 1 was a mirror, that kind of thing. Now, this is reflected in line 2, this vertical line. Okay, that means it will look like this. Okay? So, I didn't draw it 100% like that. I'm not a typewriter. But you get the idea. So of the answer choices, which one looks like this? We'll take a look at the answer choices, and you will see that it is choice D. for number 15. In the diagram, the length of BC is, okay? So this is all Pythagorean theorem. First, let's figure out BD. BD squared plus 16 squared is equal to 20 squared. So that means that's going to be 400 minus 16 squared, which is 256, like that. And therefore BD is 144 square root, and that is 12 for BD. And then now use this triangle to figure out BC. BC squared is equal to BD squared plus 5 squared, like that. BD squared is 12 squared plus 5 squared, and this is 144 plus 25, and that is equal to 169. And therefore BC is equal to 13. So number 16, the answer is 13, and that would be choice A. If 10 to the power of x minus 9 is 9,990, then x is equal to. So 10 to the power of x minus 10 is equal to 9990. Bring the 10 to the other side, and that would give you 10,000. And then 10,000 is just 10 to the power of 4, so therefore x is equal to 4. So number 17, the answer is D. A square has perimeter 24. A rectangle has the same area as the square. If the width of the rectangle is 4, what is the perimeter of the rectangle? So first and foremost, we've got this square, right? And they're saying it has a perimeter of 24. So a square has 4 equal sides. So the perimeter is 4x. They tell you that perimeter is 24. So that means x is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is 6. Okay? Then you've got this rectangle, and this rectangle, they tell you, has the same area. So length times width is the dimensions. So length times width is the area. And let's see here, same area, right? So length times width is the same area as the square, where the area of the square is x squared, and that's going to be 6 squared, which is 36. So length times width is the same as that, so that's also 36. All right? And they tell you that the width is 4, so they give you the value of w. They tell you it's 4. So that means L is 36 divided by 4, which is 9. And they want you to figure out the perimeter of the rectangle. Perimeter of the rectangle is 2 times length plus width. 2 times length is 9. We just figured out width they gave you in the question was 4. So that's 2 times 13, which is 26. So number 18, the answer is A. Bethany, Chun, Dominic, and Emily go to the movies. They choose a row with 4 consecutive empty seats. If Dominic and Emily must sit beside each other, in how many different ways can the 4 friends sit? Bethany, Chun, Dominic, and Emily. Now, Dominic and Emily must sit beside each other, so we can kind of choose that or make that into sort of one unit. And therefore, the other 2 friends are B and C. So we have to figure out what are the possible combinations of these 3. Okay, no problem. For the first position, I've got 3 choices, right? It can either be this guy, or this guy. For the next position, I've got the 2 remaining choices, and for the last position, the 1 remaining choice. So 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6. But that's not the right answer. So please do not choose A and move on. Why is it not the right answer? Well, because this can also be reversed. We can also have ED. They have to be together, but nothing says that Dominic has to sit to the left or, Emily has to sit to the right or whatever. That reverse order is also perfectly allowable. So we have to do this again. Another 3 times 2 times 1. And the same reasoning as before. This time it's ED. 3 times 2 times 1. And that gives you another 6. And that gives you a total of 12. Now, if you're not convinced, what I'm going to do is write out very quickly all the possible 12 combinations over here. So here are the 12 possible combinations. In the first column, I've done this guy here, DE. As you can see, they're all DEs. And then the BCs are pretty straightforward to place. And then the second column, I've done the EDs like that. And as you can see, there's another 6, so a total of 12. Now, this is a good question. A lot of students will get it wrong. They'll just get 6. And what they do on math contests is they purposely try to figure out what a wrong answer could be. And they put that on the answer choices, which is, unfortunate, right? Because if 6 was not one of the answer choices, if it was 4, and you got 6, then you'd look at the answer choices and say, well, 6 is not one of the answer choices, so I must have done something wrong. And then you'd go back and look at the question a little bit more carefully. But unfortunately, 6 is one of the answer choices, so what people will do is just circle it and move on, and then they get it wrong, and it breaks their heart because this is actually not that difficult of a question. You see what I mean? So just take some time, take another 30 seconds to read the question carefully and ensure that you get the correct answer. In the addition of 2-digit numbers, each blank space, including those in the answer, is to be filled with one of the digits 0 through 6, each used exactly once. The units digit of the sum is. Okay, so I've got to do a lot of trial and error, right? But hopefully not too much. Hopefully there's a system that I can use. Well, what is that system? Well, I don't know. Let's see. Well, the first thing I notice is that the numbers I have to choose from are between 1 and 6 inclusive. Now, they say that when you add up two 2-digit numbers, it's going to be a 3-digit number. All right? So that means that this number in here has to be at least a 1. It can't be a 0, right? Because if it's a 0, then this is not a 3-digit number anymore. It's kind of pointless to put 3 boxes. It'd be misleading too. So this is, I don't know, but I'm going to say that it's at least a 1. So that means that when you add up these 2-digit numbers, the sum has to be greater than 100. So for example, if this was 12 and this is 34, that's not going to work because that's going to be what, 46? And 46 is not a 3-digit number. The sum has to be at least a 3-digit number. Okay, so let's see. Well, I have no idea what this is, so I'm just going to start and go this way. A lot of trial and error here. So 6543. Okay, I have no clue. Let's add this up. This is going to be 108. Okay, well, at least one of my criteria is satisfied, right? I've got a 3-digit number. But look at this problem here. I've got an 8. And 8 is not one of the numbers I can choose from. Remember, all the digits have to be between 0 and 6 inclusive when I fill in this box. Okay, no problem. That was just my first attempt. It's not 65 and 43. No problem. That makes me think that when I add up these guys, it's got to be a number in that range, either 0 to 6. Okay, that shouldn't be that difficult. Instead of a 5, let's put in a smaller number. Well, I'm going to put in 2. Let's see. 62 plus 43, that's 105. Guess what? I just did it. That works. All the criteria are filled. I've got all the numbers from 1 to 6, or 0 through 6. And yeah, I'm done. So number 20, they want you to figure out the units digit of the sum. Well, this is the sum right here, and the units digit is 5. So number 20, the answer is D.